Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another NIKKE reaction. Today we are finally getting to Providence, the whole collaboration that they did with Stellar Blade, and this is one of the themes, if not all of it. I don't know how deep this went. I assume this is at least one of the songs based on the title, but also it was a guarantee, even though this did end up getting the most votes on the last video, this was going to happen anyway because Tefania in my executive producer queue wanted this song so bad, she put it in. So here it is. No matter what, this was going to be the video for today, so I hope all of you are excited. I'm finally getting around to this one. It finally won the battle, and I guess without further ado, let's go! Ooh, starting heavy and strong. So composed by Seibin, that name feels familiar. I might have heard something from them before. But obviously this is Cosmograph's remix of it, so. Throwing in some break stuff right off the bat. It just went straight in with the energy. I love that. You'll never catch me not vibing to the absolute behemoth that is Cosmograph's remix, really. Cosmograph does such great work. And I really don't know what parts of this are remixes and which parts are original, because I've never touched Stellar Blade, so I don't know. But I'm loving the energy of it, obviously. Woo. I'm gonna take a guess and say most of the electronic stuff might be Cosmograph's work. Not exclusively, but like hearing the drum kit in here, I'm feeling like that's not original to this remix. It just sounds different enough. I don't know how else to word that. I love this part. It's so fun to recognize things that Cosmograph puts in basically everything. But again, I really don't know what parts of this would be the original theme. Again, that drum kit. It just feels so detached from the electronic stuff. Like it's either a stem from the original, or maybe everything else is original, and that was included by Cosmo. It's so hard for me to tell for some reason. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it just sounds different enough. All right, now that I've heard it 2 times through, I've heard a bunch of different things in here, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. So I'm not going to show all of this, but I had to go and hear what the original was. I had to get some context. I already recognized at the very intro that part, so the context is really important for me. Yeah, this kind of has like a Eurotrance clubbiness to it. It's like a cinematic Eurobeat thing. Kind of weird, but I'm digging it. And I'm recognizing so much from the other version. Ooh. That's different. Yeah, there's so much to this one that I thought was Cosmo's input. Huh. All right. So after listening to the original song and getting some of that context, it's very clear that Cosmo did the thing he does with Nine's work. He did all the Cosmoifying to it, and that's perfectly fine. I was actually completely wrong about the drum set thing. I thought that might have been the original song. No way in hell was that in there, and I guess that was just part of Cosmo's putting that in there. But I don't know, it felt kind of out of place to me. I don't think that necessarily worked perfectly well. It didn't nestle into the rest of the song, the rest of the vibe, but that's really the only negative, I would say. Everything else was really good. I didn't realize how much Cosmo had done to the original song. It really did. The original had this kind of like Euro-tranciness to it that I'm actually a really big fan of. It was just very cinematic as well, and I'm not used to hearing that blend. Like Euro-trance cinematic is not a combo I'm used to processing at all, so that was kind of neat to hear that, but I had to hear it in order to know how well Cosmo did here, or how terribly he did. I always assume Cosmo's gonna do well. He hasn't really led me astray so far. It's just more that I didn't want to give him too much credit or too little credit where he deserved it or didn't deserve it. So in this case, this remix was very heavy on Cosmo remix isms. Had a lot of the stuff that he usually does, and that's where I was like, okay, it's probably mostly Cosmograph's work, just because the vibe of this sounded so much like the other remixes he does with Nine, and it's just like, okay, cool. But again, just how deep did that actually go? Apparently very, very deep, because this is mostly Cosmo in this remix, and he did a very good job about it. I love the energy on this one, even more so than I did of the original Providence. That's really cool energy. I love that sound, but this just had the hype on top of it. The remix did a great job bringing in the vocals. Again, he loves to do that, and I love it when he does that, because it's almost always awesome when he throws in a vocal line somewhere. It's just a neat detail he does. It's like a signature thing he always goes for. But he also made it feel so much more like NIKKE, because that's what it needs to do. It needs to feel more like NIKKE to belong in NIKKE. So as far as the remix goes, great. I love that he really subtly, honestly, threw in the stuff from Providence. It was like sprinkled onto what mostly felt like an original song from Cosmo, with how much work he was putting on this, how much he changed, how much he added and moved around. It kind of just felt like Cosmo doing an original track, which isn't necessarily bad either, because again, his sound is kind of so synonymous with NIKKE at this point, it would almost not work if you didn't do that. But I actually think it's a fairly interesting approach to take what was a very original song and more or less, instead of using that as the base for everything else, you kind of used it as accents throughout the song instead, where the other way around is much more common. You can tell it's the original song still, and there's still all those elements in there, but usually the remix part of it is a lot less aggressive, and Cosmo kind of did the opposite here, and that works out just very well. Again, NIKKE as a sound is a lot more aggressive. You kind of have to do that, but also I don't think I've seen or heard anyone do something quite like this, where it's, hey, let's basically make an original song. Pretty much everything here is original, and there's just like little sprinklings of like the motifs of the other song in there. They're little details more than they are actual like melody lines. He was just kind of like, okay, let's take the bass line and throw in some of these like sound design elements throughout. And other than that, it's basically all Cosmo. And once again, for this collab, that kind of makes sense. These two games have very different vibes, and when you put them together, you can't really get that 50-50 average like a lot of collaborations do, where it's very clearly this and also very clearly that. You can't really have that when the vibes of the music especially just will not gel well together. You have to completely rip details apart and tear it all the way down to its core components to then sprinkle it in. But I don't really know if I have much else to say because it's good. It's Cosmograph. It's a Cosmograph remix. He does his thing. He's never not done a good job on his production. I think the only negative I really had was maybe the drum set feeling a little out of place in the genre, but that's a very, very minor gripe, and it does kind of fit in. It's just not what I would have personally done. I would have gone for a more electronic drum section there. I wouldn't have gone for an acoustic sound, but that's just me. Otherwise, it sounds great, and he put it in there, and it sounds fine. So it's like, okay, cool. I mean, it's Cosmograph. And just in general, just to, behind the curtain here, I'm struggling today. My ADHD is going nuts and I'm unmedicated, so that doesn't help. And certain things just trigger that really badly. And I don't know what exactly is going on today, but it's just something. So I'm just going to call the video here. I don't know if I can really focus much more on this. I've been struggling the whole time. You've probably seen the amount of cuts, and I guarantee you there's a bunch that I cut out on the cutting room floor that you won't even see. And just, it's a Cosmograph song. He did a good job. He made a good remix. I think we can all agree and understand that because it's pretty much a universal constant at this point. I don't think any of us expect Cosmo to put out something less than really good, less than decent, killer at average, really, 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 really good at worst, like he's fucking fantastic. So I don't really have much else to say. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. Sorry this one was kind of rambly and I said the same thing like 3 or 4 times. Don't know how many of those I'm gonna have to cut out, but thank you anyway. If you have any other songs you want me to get to, by all means leave them in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. And otherwise, if you like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.